Hello traders and welcome at this Bitcoin technical analysis video. This is going to be a special video as we will be going over not only high time frame analysis, which I want to do in this video, but I will be showing you fundamentals and macro drivers for the Bitcoin. You as a trader, your job is to understand and learn technical analysis for Bitcoin and then learn all the tools which are providing you information about order flow. Once you do that, you have the two important aspects for your trading, but the last remaining aspect which you should not skip is the understanding the macro and fundamentals for Bitcoin. What is driving the price of the Bitcoin? Where are we in the cycles? What are the on-chain metrics? You can actually build and complete full overall picture. The first two things I mentioned are really good for, you can trade pretty well as a scalper and day trader. On my example, I can predict market really well as a scalper, very high win rate. As a day trader, really strong also, decent. But on macro and high time frame, it's getting harder because you can predict black swan events and white swan events, which are accelerating the price. But still, we need to do that because you need to be prepared. And people are just zoomed in, even as a scalper, people are just zoomed in too much on 1 minute, 5 minute chart. You need to zoom out as a day trader to 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame. But as a macro and an investor, you really need to zoom out even further to daily time frame, weekly time frame, monthly time frame, and do this analysis. So you can understand where is Bitcoin heading in the long term. And you want to have, you need to understand and learn this because you want to build your global bias, like a long-term bias. Now I'll be going over multiple things in this video. Everything I say is not financial advice. It's just entertainment and education. It's just my opinion. In this video you will also learn the risk on and risk off days and how it's affecting Bitcoin, and also all the correlations we have in the market and everything specific to Bitcoin. So let's dive into it. I think first advantage as a trader for you is good to know what we are doing in terms of halving and where we are in the cycle for the Bitcoin. In order to know information about that, you need to analyze previous halving cycles. So let's have a look on that. So first of all, once Bitcoin, we'll be using Bitstamp because Bitstamp has longest history. We can chart. It's good for long-term charting and informations. So, this was the first mega pump on the Bitcoin. I was miner here, so I remember that really well. It's funny, I'm involved with Bitcoin for so long time. We'll be watching what we are doing after halving. We also want to watch how big, how much Bitcoin gained in the cycle and how much it gave up. So now we will be measuring the first initial pump on the Bitcoin, which happened from 0 to this high. Just crazy amounts, like 260,000% move. Just huge. Now this is the first pump, and now we have a look on pullback. So pullback from the high to the low. It's 82%. Okay, 82%. Very nice. Now let's hide this low. Let's have a look from this low to this high. We are seeing 2000% move from this point, and we are creating the new low. This was really like 2 cycles in between in this first halving season, and we are doing pullback of 86%. Okay, so we have the 82%, 86%. Let's have a look further. Another halving event is happened. Also watch what is Bitcoin doing in this halving. So usually you do this massive pullback of 80-70%, then you go sideways, you are accumulating, and then you start uptrending. And as we are heading into the halving, price is usually bullish as we are heading to the halving. So let's go further. So we'll be measuring now the bull market some of you were part of. Now the move up this was crazy move. $14,000% and pull back down. 84%. Okay, so we are seeing what is Bitcoin doing. We already can do statistics. Bitcoin loves to do 82, 86, 84. Now let's measure the latest bull market. So we'll go from here to here. 2000% move on the Bitcoin, and pullback was 77%. Okay, so now we have some informations from that. So we are seeing Bitcoin is doing less gains to the upside as time passes on, and we are seeing the pullbacks are getting weaker. So this time we haven't breached 80% as in the previous cycles. So we can expect future, bull market pullback will be not 80%, but in the 70s yet again. That's first the information. And now we are seeing also the Bitcoin returns are diminishing. Of course, they are still crazy. 2%, 2000% is really nice, but it's just statistics. Bitcoin is slowing down in the long term. There are multiple reasons why it's happening. So Bitcoin is maturing. Bitcoin was born in 2009, and it's 14 years of Bitcoin. Yes, if I count it correctly, 14 years. So Bitcoin is teenager, we can say, like asset class. And we are still pretty volatile, but we are getting to the point where Bitcoin will be really matured class when it's going to be like 18 to 20 years. And its overall flows also people are holding Bitcoin more, and there are just much less Bitcoins on the exchanges, so the volatility is dropping long term. I personally think this is going to be last cycle for the Bitcoin. We can enjoy really nicely as a traders. There will be like decent volatility, because in the long term I think Bitcoin will slow down. There could be some reactions on macro, some violent reactions to wide and black swan events, but yes, the long-term volatility should go down on Bitcoin as it's maturing, similar to all the developed assets. It's still a bit wild west. Also, I would like to compare Bitcoin to previous cycle, because these two cycles, especially this period of time for Bitcoin was when the institutions were not involved with Bitcoin. They arrived over here, institutional capital, and smart money. So it's best to compare to previous cycle. We can see we are actually repeating previous cycle pretty much same. We can see we had big downside moves, then we had accumulation phase was pretty short here, but it's not surprise, because we were heading down on each week and month. We had some bearish news for so many black swan events sending Bitcoin down. So Bitcoin was very, very better than it happened in pretty short time. This pullback down, it was like spring. It happened much faster than in the previous cycles. You can see what happened in previous cycle. We had first big impulse on the bigger time frame, and as we were approaching the halving, the price was pulling back. We will see if it's gonna repeat again, because now you have a lot of affection. There is a lot of global flows which are affecting Bitcoin's price, and you can send it fast down or up. We will be discussing that a bit later. But everything is going by the plan now. Bitcoin is doing a beautiful upside trend on the high time frame, and the pullbacks are violent sometimes, but they are getting bought, and we are holding market structure, so everything's looking fine for Bitcoin at the moment. Until you take out 25k, you have no real market structure change in this market. We can actually but I will go over all these scenarios. So 18th of April we have the halving. So statistically speaking, if you know the statistics, there is super high chance Bitcoin will resume big upside after halving, as it did in the past. Yes, so this is already building your bias to hold your positions as a hodler, and you still have time. This is your building positions time for this big upside. We are just playing with the statistics. Now, what is also is meaning, like, Bitcoin volatility is dropping. Now let me show you some of the charts. So we will be starting with this. So I'm hearing some traders are struggling to trade this summer, because we are lacking a lot of exhaustive price action. Exhaustive price action is number one thing you should really learn with our group, because it consists from multiple things. Like there are like 10 things inside when I say exhaustive price action. When it happens, your chances to win the trade are really high. It's like over 80%. So, and we are seeing that much less. So people are struggling to trade Bitcoin properly because it's not moving much. There is low volume, low volatility, and people, they take sometimes trades out of boredom. It's not based on the proper signals from our tools and technical analysis. So yes, but this is seasonal. So look at this. We have the medium time frame seasonals from VIX is showing you that every single year past since 1990 we are going down in volatility on Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin, globally, everything. stock market and commodities and so on. And after, you know, July comes, I mean, after July ends, August starts to pick up, you know, and we are heading into the massive volatility into the October. It's simple reason people are on holidays and traders are people, so they are just on holidays and they also turn off the algos, and it's just general less liquidity in the market. Okay, so nothing special here. We can go to the next picture. Also seasonally, no, I want to go over this one. Yes, this one. So, but we can also see on the long picture, Bitcoin volatility keeps dropping, and as I said, Bitcoin is maturing as an asset. So this is a really big reason. Look at that. We are at the all-time lows in terms of volatility compared to gold, S&P, treasury bonds, really low. I recommend you to build. To watch Bitcoin volatility 24 hours. I made this very simple sheet for me. I'm watching this volatility index. Based on my trades, I did thousands of trades. When Bitcoin volatility is below 137, I know I don't want to scalp Bitcoin, and I'm looking for day trades mainly. I know day trades can take, if I even take scalp entry, which is okay, I know I'll be waiting 6, 12 hours, even 1 or 2 days before I hit more take profit. After take profit 1, I know the time is key composure here. You just need a lot more time for your trades to play out. Once you go about 150, you know, you start to combine day trades and scalps. So yes, this is start to be interesting for me to trade as that. And above 1.90, you can focus on scalps because volatility is really great. It also means like on 1 minute time frame, subways are making 0.60% to 1% moves, which are fantastic for scalper, right? You know, here we are doing just 0.3% or 0.2% move, which is absolutely bad. And if you go above 2.50, this is time where I know Bitcoin volatility is not going to be sustained for long like that, but I know we are seeing massive exhaustive price action potentially, and scalping crazy is here. You can do 1 to 2% moves in 1 minute time frames, almost a good part of the day. So this is really good to watch this Bitcoin volatility. Yeah. Now you should really know. So we went over these halvings. Nothing special is happening. Now I want to show you and tell you why is Bitcoin stabilizing after 70% plus drops. You have two massive reasons. One of them, and you should really Google that. Yes, I found out about it when I was studying mining before. It's energy gravity. Okay, so Bitcoin fair value is usually where you have really good value based on electricity. How much cost Bitcoin to produce? You know, how much miners. What's the cost for miners to produce 1 Bitcoin? Bitcoin is hard to price sometimes when we have no fundamentals. That's why Bitcoin is the most technical asset in the world. When there is nothing to price Bitcoin on, I mean on just short term, we have technical analysis, but we also have the miners, and the miners currently are mining Bitcoin for 17 to 18,000 global average. Okay. And you see, when we were dropping, I will be turning off this so it's no distractions for us anymore. Yeah, we can keep just that. When we were on pullback here, yes, in the October, you know what was the price for the miners to mine 1 Bitcoin? It was $16,000 to $17,000 over here. And you see where we find the bottom? It was actually here. And we have graph for that, so you can understand it clearly. Bitcoin in its history almost every time found its major bottoms. Where was the energy gravity in the end? Where the miners were operating efficiently on the Bitcoin. Look at that. Each halving we found the support. So make sure to watch that metric. If you are hodler, investor, swing trader, or just day trader, scalper, you need to watch that. You need to where is it actually to know. Google that, Google energy gravity, and you can read much more about it. I think Blockware Solutions, they were doing a nice analysis, and you can watch that. And another thing, so we have the energy of the global average energy gravity, and now we have what? We have the best friend for the investors and anchor for the investors and for the hodlers and for the swing traders, and this is this really nice folder. Those are anchor VWAPs. Okay, let's go to smaller time frame. If you don't have much time to trade Bitcoin and you still want to participate as a swing trader and as a hodler and investor, your properly marked anchor VWAPs on a chart are really key. Okay, why is anchor VWAP much better? You can learn about this in our group, of course, but you know, anchor VWAP compared to moving average contains the volume as well, so it's giving you much better and non-lacking picture over the market. You can see what was Bitcoin doing before, where we again find the bottoms. Yeah, when we go back into history, I have really long-term pool of anchor VWAPs. I have actually one from this is like Genesis one and so on. You can see we can start watching them when we had proper institutional cycle. This one, we can see we find we find the bottom, actually the main bottom here, and this one was born from, yes, this one. Let me turn on the key lows. Yeah, this anchor VWAP is coming from 2015 low. Okay, and when you go around these regions, okay, you can lose it for a while, but you know it's region, and this is your time to scale in. Okay, so you really need to watch that. Look at that Corona low. Yeah, we've got pullback into it. Both have like massive opportunity. I think, in my opinion, this is if we get, anything's possible on Bitcoin. If we get global recession, if we get rejection on ETF, if we get some, like, look, Binance can collapse. Yeah, it's just, if Binance collapse, you will definitely, we see this low probably taken out. This is your ultimate scale in price. At the moment, it's around 9,200, 300, okay? So yes, definitely watch that. So this one is the strongest one, long-term one, and then we have the more like recent one. So previous cycle gave us a lot of anchor VWAPs. Now you can see the green one is also important to watch. How do you know the VWAP actually works? I always watch for reaction. So I know this anchor VWAP become valid for me when I saw massive reaction at first from it. So this was measuring the whole uptrend move from when we've got the Corona lows and the whole world went crazy because everyone was printing the money, so you could actually make money in any asset in the world almost. Now you created anchor VWAP from that low, and you see when we were retesting it, there was a huge bounce for how much? 26%. That's pretty crazy. Okay, once lost, this is warning you. You are getting red light, and it's confirming you are losing whole uptrend. So this is also, when you lose anchor VWAPs, it's also making you defensive. Yeah, reclaims and losses are important to watch for your trading. Also, we have the Corona low. This was like measuring whole impulsive move to the upside, but we also need proper anchor VWAP for the 2018 low, and you can see again market was paying massive attention to that. We actually found really big lows here. Look here, this was the 42% bounce. This was the before FTX collapse. I think without FTX we would already be making new structure, and I think we would be also higher because FTX caused like for the downside. So without FTX collapse, this was the main holding price for us, because it would repeat same cycle, price action as before. I'm still watching that, of course. This was also like big dollar cost averaging price for me, 20k. Also this anchor VWAP, my dollar cost averaging, the average price is like around 21k at the moment. People who are waiting lower, they just miss the train, right? Bitcoin doesn't have to return here. You as a trader, hodlers, and all these categories, you need to dollar cost average, so you can build like position, and the market can, Bitcoin usually skips these people. Like everybody was calling for 12k. 12k is really big level for Bitcoin, or 9k, but yeah, they were left behind. Yeah, so we are watching these anchor VWAPs, and look what we did on the main uptrend VWAP from the Corona lows. We did retest of 25k. So not only this was, if Bitcoin would not bounce here, I would be super surprised. I was crying that in a group for weeks. 24,800 to 25k is gonna be big buy for me, and we had multiple reasons, and you see anchor VWAPs was also one of them. Yeah. But the most important was, of course, this market structure, previous flip from support to resistance, and key level, and yeah, a lot of stuff there. It's just so many eyes on it. So yeah, anchor VWAPs, learn them, use them, and you will not regret it. This is not applying just for the Bitcoin, it's also good for the other asset classes. Okay, now let's go into the other. This is a bit more about psychology of the market and so on. We will be discussing initial points of selling with macro key levels and lows. I have a nice folder here for that. because this is also what is accelerating price, and you need to be aware of that as a trader. 4-hour time frame. We will be starting with, we can actually start with the Luna collapse. Yeah, Luna collapse is over here. We can start with the FTX collapse. Yep. So when you have black swan event, or when you have white swan event to the upside, black swan events are to the downside, you are creating massive inefficiency on the market. People are getting into the panic mode, and you also have a lot of hedge people, hedge shorts and hedge longs, if it's white swan event, who are trying to be aggressive on the news and are building very aggressive positions on the market. So I'm always watching for that when you have an initial point of selling. Initial point of selling is the area where we need to go to small time frame so you can see that a bit better. Here, zoom out and go to the left. So initial point of selling is when you recover initial point of selling from the black swan event, it's very likely it will cause much larger move to the upside. There is a fundamental reason for that. You have people who are shorting with leverage the news. When you go over there, over their entries, you usually place stop loss behind the high which was leading before the event. A lot of stop losses above this high, and when you recover that, it's similar to news event trading. When you recover, then it's gonna accelerate moves to the upside. Yeah. So you see, this was the FTX collapse. This last pump was when Binance was trying to save the FTX. I had this, my chart for a long time. Now you see what happened. When you recover this is going to be sign of strength for me as well, because you actually shrugged off the major exchange collapse in the market. You see what happened here, and why you are seeing such a big wick over this. You are really careful to actually short that when you know it's black swan event. Okay, let's go here. Massive move. Now you are retesting these people. They are becoming order flow support. You can see them inside the Exocharts. You did retest of them. Market don't want to let them get out, and we continue up. Look here, one more retest. Massive move to the upside. Crazy. So all these shorts, all these people who were seeing Bitcoin at 10K, they are getting destroyed. Some of people just hedge. Some people, I also hedge. So I just, you just unwind the hedge as well. So there are multiple reasons why it's reacting like that. Let's have a look on another example. And these are fundamental principles on markets, and those apply to other assets as well. So what we need, so we have the, where is the Luna? Oops. Now we had this was another black swan event. Look at the downside, huge downside. It caused a lot of inefficiencies on the market and so on. So we have this Celsius collapse. It was a huge fund which was lending funds to people, and they were getting high interest. These also caused massive ripples in the market. Look what happened once we arrived to the region. Yet again, we moved to the upside, and it was more choppy, but yeah, market was squeezing these people. Yeah? So it was also, it was also a sign of strength for us. Now we started ranging here, so yeah, you also squeezed these people. Yeah? So it was fantastic. In the end, it led to the accelerated move to the upside. So you see, yet again, similar situation. But there was a lot of selling on the way down. So all these aggressive hedging people and who wanted to make money, this was also an impulsive move to the upside. Really easy over the inefficiencies. Yeah. Now we have one more, which we'll be looking for in the future. So it's the initial point of selling on the Luna collapse. Yet again, very inefficient price action. If we don't do swing failure pattern here, this is already touching the trading above 32K. It's going to be, in my opinion, very easy to fill this inefficiency, because you also have these hedge shorts and aggressive shorts and leverage shorts and so on. So pretty easy to get above here. And once we get above the level, we can actually squeeze even further, because we have another inefficiency here. This was probably some insider selling as well. There was a lot of bad stuff happening. So not much resistance in terms of, even news events, they don't offer you much resistance. So that's initial point of selling. I explained why it works. Now we can have a look also. Now let's go to 4-hour time frame. So you can actually see how you combine potential. So maybe we can speak about 32K and above. So we can open our long-term templates. let's go over here and global open interest. So one of the thing you can know about Bitcoin, we have very large open interest increase on our moves to the downside. So I think there is still a lot of shorts who were hedging on these Luna collapses. Look where was the main initial point of open interest started to increase. It was from over here. And new shorts. So we still have on the on the market. So let's have a look for how much. So from 82,000 we went to 316. Let me do calculations. 316 minus 82. So it's 234. And Bitcoin price is currently at 29,000. 6, yeah, crazy. Over 6 billion of open interest is still pending. Now you can also confirm this when you watch on the Delta template, which we are using. So you see how much a lot of the move to the downside was caused by the leverage. They were hedging out, so we were going out of the from the bull market, and people wanted, institutions, people, and overall they wanted to protect their profits in a Bitcoin, so they were hedging. So massive open interest increase. We don't have much open interest increase on the coin margin contracts. These people got wiped out in the first up move here to 60. We went to the 68,000 on the first stop. You look here, from that moment we never recovered. So you almost wipe out everyone from the margin contracts, and plus people just love Tether trading. But we can see when we go over 32k, we have really good potential to squeeze really large open interest. We can see fast move to the 35, 40k just from the open interest hedges closing. And one more thing, why we are seeing bounces here, you see they started to also take some big profits here. When we go here, look here, open interest started to go down. The first up move here was all major open interest decrease from all these late shorts here. So it's very important. And now when we open our template, we can see that also over here. So we are watching perpetuals with leverage. You can see as we were heading down, we are watching from 40. We need to watch from the same area where was the good open interest increase. So this was the 16th of December. Okay, let's go to December of 2021. Here we are, yeah. So we are seeing really large logs, really large shorts in this area as well. We have some trap longs from this area. You can see that clearly on Delta, but then we've got really massive shorts from this move to the downside. Look here, really, really large. So yes, there will be. This is also why this range here from 34 to 48, we can say there will be also big rejections from it, because we've got a lot of trap people as well. Like, okay, some of them were destroyed, but not all of them. Yeah, we have the institutions and so on who are holding underwater. So massive delta opening increases in this. So yeah, there will be nice trades from this. I don't expect we just go over this. There will be some rejections. But yeah, that was the open interest, and yeah, it's really, really important for us. Now let's have a look on Bitcoin from the fundamental perspective. So let's go over here. We can turn off this one. So Bitcoin is moving correlated with the stock market. Now, I can show you overlay. Yes, we can go to 1 day time frame. Zooming out. So we can see important thing. This is also giving us information why we don't want the global recession or depression, because it will drag Bitcoin down very likely. Bitcoin can move on its own, but this is very important factor, and we also use this factor in our day-to-day trading. When stock market is falling, is more likely for Bitcoin to fall as well. Yes, you can see what happened from Corona. Yeah? Massive move to the upside, and also massive, like stock market was moving much stronger first, and then Bitcoin catched up to it. That was really interesting delay. Yeah, so always watch those. Sometimes there can be delays. Look how correlated they were, and now we are, seeing actually Bitcoin was leading to the downside, and now stock market is turning a bit. So yeah, we are watching that, and if stock market gets really bad, and we've got the global recession and or even depression, anything is possible. We will probably see much larger pullbacks on Bitcoin. So I'm watching that, but there is also counter side of this, and let me show you. We have the gold. So we have the gold overlay, and now I can show you, this is another property of Bitcoin which was resumed. We haven't had bank crisis for a long time on Bitcoin. We've had one recently in US. I'll be showing you that here. Yes. We'll be zooming in, 1 hour time frame. So Bitcoin is super highly correlated to tech assets, to tech stock market, and ES1 in general, as I showed you. But now, when we go back, we go over here. First, we've got, this was the SVB collapse. Yes, this was the point of SVB collapse, and they also were heading massive positions for crypto. So Bitcoin initially went down. And now when I hide this on the Friday of the March, we've got the largest bank crisis since 2008 was hitting the global world. And now we were heading into the weekend. The gold was already spiking heavily up, because always if you trade other assets a bit, gold is a safe haven asset, so it's going up when we have problem in the world. Now gold was spiking up, and Bitcoin actually did change of market structure during weekend, and then we started to initially go up, and Bitcoin was led by by gold. For the future, I think when we will see more global problems with the banks, Bitcoin will see a lot of inflows, and these inflows were really, really serious. Look at how much Bitcoin pump on this. We've got these bank problems for a long time, and you see Bitcoin move from 20k to 29,000, and also it was supported by Binance. Yes, we've got the fundamental moves. They were changing tether stablecoins to Bitcoin, so we've seen a lot of order book support on the move to the upside. But yeah, Bitcoin was heavily correlated with gold to the upside, so pay attention when we have bank crisis in the future. Bitcoin proved is not only commodity, is not only it got a lot of properties, but it showed the world it has another narrative behind. Safe haven asset. Okay, safe haven asset, and that's what I like to see. And the correlation with gold is still pretty decent with Bitcoin. Okay, let me go over here. Let me check what I have here, because I prepared more slides. Yes, this one we went over. Now, this is more of an investor talk and also hodl or swing trader. You can see Bitcoin is outperforming everything in the world. Bitcoin compared to gold, S&P, Nasdaq, ARK fund is currently, since COVID crash, at 397%. So yeah, I have my portfolio is like 80% traditional, but 20% of my portfolios are, I think, or even 30% is Bitcoin exposure, everything to Bitcoin. Because I'm just I'm performing much better, and when I see crazy gains on Bitcoins, and we are seeing signs of signs of strength, signs of topping out, I'm then changing my money into the more stable assets. So yeah, that's probably the best play. And another thing, you can see better visualization here. Even when you expose yourself not just on Bitcoin, but like MicroStrategy is doing, look at this, it's beating everything in the world. They are the largest hodlers of the Bitcoin on the planet, one of the largest. So 254% since August 10, 2020. So yeah, Bitcoin offers massive move to the upside, massive potential to the upside. Okay, let's turn off this. Also on this high time frame I'm watching, this is one exception, I'm using the moving averages. I also do that on the other assets. I'm focusing on using only the 200-day moving average and 200-week moving average. Most of the time they offer you long-term support for assets. When you want to scale into the stock market assets and so on, it's really good to have them over so you can see what is happening. It's getting good respect. I don't use them on lower time frames. We have the anchor VWAPs. Like you have much better tools to use on a small time frames, but yeah, this is good to be aware of this, because this is also like making your bias. When you trade below both of them, it's making you less bullish and opposite. Look at that retest, yeah. First we've lost it at 48k. We've got the big short here for multiple reasons, but yeah, this was lost retest. Now finally reclaimed, and on a reclaim you rejected first time the weekly one, but you went into the holding to the 200-day moving average, which is beautiful. Now they are going together. We will watch if we get a scalp from that or day trade. There could be a beautiful bounce, especially where they are, because 27,300 is our big support here. I'll be showing you just in a second what we have like to the macro, to the upside and to the downside. So yeah, I love moving averages, only these two types. On most assets I'm investing and hodling and swing trading. Okay, so let's have a look further. So I have two macro ideas. One of the macro idea for me is to look for, when ETF gets approved, I expect really large increases in the price, especially when we can turn on back the Bitcoin halvings. And I'll be showing you interesting stuff. So in each halving, let me go here. In each cycle, when we did top and low, we've got the reaction from this was the major golden zone Fibonacci. We've got nice reaction. So this time, boom, beautiful reaction. Another big reaction. And now we have the macro Fibonacci from the high and to the low, starting at 48,555. So in case we get ETF approval and we see massive upside, we will fill all the inefficiencies here with potential to do swing failure pattern here. This is really because Bitcoin sometimes do this. You can watch here, there was like 8,000 Bitcoin candle. You can, on Bitcoin ETF, you can actually do and move massive way to the upside, just on a narrative. You can see that clearly over here when we go to, this was when the gold launched the ETF, yes, was over here. Period of small accumulation, and then we went into the massive overdrive move to the upside. So yeah, ETF is very important for the Bitcoin, so institutions can go in. And I will be watching that macro, that macro Fibs definitely to the upside in case we do see some moves. Ideally, we want to get there before halving, because each time we hit the Fib, we did it before the halving. Yes. But even after halving, it can be still, because it's still far away, it can be viable, but yeah, I'll be watching that. And of course, you don't watch just Fibs. Yeah, of course, you will turn on long-term stuff. Let me show you. Like these are long-term AMT, and we go to daily time frame, and you can see very clearly we still have two massive high volume nodes here with point of control. So you already have a potential to do swing failure pattern of this high into this high volume node and reject. So you will combine. I never trade out the one thing, but yeah, you are watching what happened in the past. Another thing, I wanted to speak about it a bit later. I mean a bit sooner, but never mind. It's over here. Let me show you key market structure levels. We'll be turning on just these two. this should be connected to the initial points of selling I was showing you at the beginning of the video, but it's okay to know even here. I also watch these, so when we have the news event, we are also creating, when you zoom in, look at the exhaustive volumes. This one was not so exhaustive, but this one was like super nice. You have the largest volume spike in this. So you see how after Luna collapse, this was very important low for us, especially based on volume and market structure, and it was the resistance 1-2 times. We, I teach people to trade with market structure zones because Bitcoin is breeding a lot. This has a lot of volatility, but you can have these precise key levels as well on the chart, and they're really important. This was the low which we placed from Celsius, and it was the summer low of 2022. This is how you work with your bias and narrative. Once you reclaim, you are looking for more signs to the upside. Yet again. And also before you reclaim, it is acting as a resistance 1-2 times here. Now this low here, let's go here. This is also important level because finally after 9 months inside sideways range, you've created high volume. Look here, volume is spiking up. Exhaustive, you're creating high volume high, and you want market, especially if it's pushing far away from this, you want market to trade above this. And when you go to small time frame, you can see we are like 10 retests also. And now you see this low here is so key because it's retested one. It's like bigger market structure, this whole area, but it's holding. So this was really easy long for us for this massive move to the downside. It was like no brainer long, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to show you these key levels I'm using. They are really key, and there are much more of them. So you need to understand. Even now we continue to reject from this key level here at 31,400. It's so key to reclaim. I was warning that in the group for a long time. It's key to reclaim for the further upside. Why it's key level? Very simple. We've created the Luna low, but we've created also the key high, for which created which started giving us the range here. So this is very key level for the further upside, because market is contained, within that. Okay, so let's have a look. By the way, we just wanted to point out we have the Fibs symmetry in the market currently. So since 2000 and since we initiated move to the upside, you can see that on the Fibs. Let me turn off 0.5 as well. So we are creating, you are taking this high, so you are changing high, you are potentially changing the character for the market. And once you create higher low, you are changing big time frame. So 1 day time frame is very bullish, but you are watching the symmetry of the market. So each time we did the, we started feeling inefficiencies in the move and we went for the pullback, we stopped around the level 0.5. Look what happened this time. Similar symmetry. And now we are doing another pullback. And we are approaching, so we will be watching around 28k, just based on the Fibs symmetry. We have some nice confluence at 28k, so I'll be watching that. Just wanted to show you this symmetry. Now I just want to do macro view to the downside. I will not be covering this area, but in case we get the global recession, in case we get some more black swan events like I don't know, Binance collapse and so on, and we take out the lows below 15k. This is, by the way, not so strong low. Yeah, maybe we'll never retest it in this cycle, but you need to be prepared if you do so. If stock market continues into the heavy downside moves and so on, it's always best to be prepared. You can see you need to go over. Let's turn off stuff here. Just want to show you the big supports below 15,000. So yeah, we are watching this anchor up at 9,300, of course. And then we have the market structure areas. Let me show you. So each market structure from previous cycle top was providing us big supports here. That's no brainer. But the main market structure areas are from 13,000 to 12k. That's why many people are eyeing Bitcoin for like 12k is massive support on it. So just be aware of that. Yeah, of course we are so far away from it, but you need to be I know my strategy for Bitcoin to trade from 5,000 to 69. This is just repeating, you know. So yeah, very, very important. And over that, you will overlay auction market theory, and you will be watching the key zones like that. We have the VAG regions here, major high volume node here, yeah, 11,500s. Then you have much larger range VAG, yeah. So these are your dollar cost average in case Bitcoin loses 15,000 in the future. These regions, massive supports. Okay, and now let's go to the main chart, because, you know, combined, like Bybit, I do more day trades, scalping from here, all the data. That's really like old. This, I don't have this history on Bybit, so I need to watch that there. Let me go over here. We can have a look. I can have a look on this segment as well here. So we are currently in the pullback. Now we are watching to the downside. Let me move this one here. Day trading, we need to go up. Or I'm thinking maybe I will do separate video on the more short-term stuff. Maybe tomorrow, or so this one is not so long. Yeah, I think I will do it like that, because I still need to update charts tomorrow. Yeah, I will do separate video. So this stays like more long term, and to the upside more long term, as I said, we have the massive resistance from 48 to 50k, but we can also still, this is still what we want to trade is this high here. If we get, let me show you here. In the case we take out this high here, we will be trading and watching the entry into the summer 2021 val if we get the acceptance, and we'll be watching that high as well if we take out it for swing failure pattern. If we do swing failure pattern, then it's going to be very easy trade for us. If not, we'll be watching to fill inefficiencies to the upside, and another start of the resistance is 34,000 to 35,000 from this high volume node, market structure and so on. But yeah, it's inefficiency area, so it's, you need to ideally create range and then do swing failure pattern and reject, because in the end you can fill this pretty fast and you will find real support only from this massive range here where we discussed. There is yeah, it's a lot of resistance over here. One thing I want to talk about is what is actually preventing a recession at the moment. It's the AI boom and overall technological boom, because markets, not all companies are doing so well, but the main companies who are doing well are these big tech companies who are exposed to the AI as well, which made good money for me in the portfolio. So this is actually, they are really helping. And if AI goes well for the world, I think the efficiency of the market, efficiency of the economy also goes up. And this can actually make us skip the recession or even do like mild landing. Yes. And the recession, the people were calling for recession. Meanwhile, we are going up. This is the most hated bull market we ever had, because we had the most anticipated recession in the history of the world. Everybody was expecting that. It created a lot of stuff and problems. First of all, there were a lot of bets from the hedge funds. You can see the Q2 for the hedge funds. They had some of them had big losses because they need to close their shorts. And he's also put a lot of capital on the sidelines. So if we manage to do soft landing, we can actually still continue up in the markets because a lot of capital is on the sideline. So yeah, it's important to know that. We will see. Yeah, to predict such events, I don't think many people can. So remember what I said at the beginning of the video. It's easy to predict scalps, it's easy to predict day trades, but the swing trade perspective is harder to predict because you can't price in the future events which can happen in the black swan events or white events. But I already show you some statistics. Where is Bitcoin, you know, heading? Yeah, I will be doing another video. I'll be doing another video on the how we are trading here, what we can expect to the upside, to the downside trade zones. I think in Monday when I update my charts. Okay, let me check if I checked everything I wanted, if I said what I wanted. Yeah, maybe we can end with this. Seasonally, Bitcoin also, August and September for Bitcoin are not good months, and is also connected to stock market as well. Stock market is pretty bad August for it, and September is called the deep month on. So it's called the deep month for the Bitcoin, and you see every time almost in September we went down. We will see how stock market goes. So yeah, but be aware of that. So you have like two good months to build more long-term positions on Bitcoin. Yes, so I think I said what I wanted. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the group. Bye.